And now, to introduce our speaker for today, Ellen Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure today to introduce to you Debra McClain. Deb took over as Executive Director of the Beacon Clinic for Health and Hope in late August of 2018, bringing more than 30 years of experience as a licensed insurance professional background with her. She has served in various servant leadership roles, currently as prior to joining Beacon Clinic as Director of the Hand Up Ministries to the Homeless through the Metropolitan Community Church of Spirit. Deb is former CEO of the Pennsylvania Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, now known as the Keystone Business Alliance. She was active on Governor Tom Wolf's Advisory Board on Energy, Business, and Economic Development. Deb currently resides in Harrisburg and enjoys spending time with her family, gardening, singing, and sewing. Please join me in welcoming Deb McClain.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. And I'm not reading you a book. I am 4th out of 5 children. Just had to share that. The first girl, so I had 3 big brothers to torment. So I do believe I have a PowerPoint. I'm looking over to see if it's on. I'm going to bring that up a minute. I'm going to share that I believe that all the folks here in the room have some sort of a calling on their life. And as it is with Beacon Clinic, who is a free faith-based primary outpatient healthcare clinic that provides free healthcare and medications to uninsured adults. Can you not hear me?
Is the mic
Oh, did I turn it off?
Okay, that's a hot mic. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what you heard or what you didn't hear, depending on your abilities. But truly, everybody in this room has some sort of calling on their life, I do believe. And with Beacon Clinic, it is no different. We are a free faith-based primary healthcare clinic providing outpatient primary healthcare to uninsured adults and some that are underinsured adults, depending on their situation, and free medications. I mean, just last year, we had an increase in the number of people that we served during the pandemic. So we had 333 more people, nearly 1,000 people we helped last year, and we provided over 3,400 free medications to those in need. That includes things like insulin as well. So we are 501c3, and we began in March of 2015. And we are filling that gap for the uninsured adults. Many people realized during COVID as they lost their jobs and they lost their benefits. So we really were able to grab our arms around people and let them know that they are not alone. There are people from 46 different countries speaking 37 different languages that come to Beacon Clinic. So we learned during COVID all the things that we needed to do to embrace all that diversity and how we could do better. You know, when you know better, you do better, right? So I'm going to ask you to change to the next slide. So Beacon Clinic only has 3 paid employees for serving nearly 1,000 people. We can do this because of the kindness of other people. We have wonderful medical professionals and volunteers that handle the front end, where that first touch with the patient to do a triage call coming in alive, we do eligibility screenings. If people live at 300% of the poverty level or under, they're eligible to be served at Beacon Clinic. This picture of the outside is pre-COVID, no masks. Many people are nurses, aspiring doctors and physicians, and aspiring other medical professionals. I'll ask you to go ahead and change that slide. Really, our doors are open because kind and generous individuals, corporations, churches, foundations, and grants support keeping our doors open. We charge $0. You know, some of the federally qualified healthcare agencies in our areas, they do charge people some kind of a fee that we've seen there. And there's so many people that really need our help. And to be able to say when they ask, well, how much is this going to cost me? And we can say nothing. It's just a big sigh of relief. I want to tell a little bit about our history. There's Ruth Stoll. You know, there is some scripture in the Bible that says, the young will see visions and the old will dream dreams. You know, my big thing is when you're old, maybe 80, when Ruth was like, okay, I have a fire in my belly and I'm not going to put it out. I am going to take some kind of action. And the young will dream dreams part, are the young saying, let the old do it because we're raising my kids, and the old people will say, let the young do it because they have more energy. I've done my time. Not Ruth, no, she gathered all her professional friends, architects, attorneys, doctors, surgeons, nurses, and she brought them all together and said, how can we make this happen? So our short story is 6 years later, we're still going strong. And I'm so thankful for her. I always say, you know, she's considered a gentle woman. She's now the ripe age of 90 years old. She's still an active participant at Beacon Clinic. And, you know, I say gentle woman, but I say she's truly a person who is harnessed with power rather than weakness. And she is a personal hero of mine. I would have never imagined in my lifetime that I would do something at the age she has done it. And she has impacted countless lives, not only here, but truly across the globe by the work that we do. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and change the next slide, please. One thing people don't know about Beacon Clinic is we're a huge educational clinic. We have collaborative partners with Messiah University. All their senior nursing, not all, but some of their senior nursing students come and they will spend their spring semester with us learning about community health care. We have a partnership with York College where their senior nursing students will come in the fall to work with us to experience community health care. And we have a year-round relationship with Penn State Health, where Penn State Health medical students will come and they will experience the community healthcare setting. It puts these first-year medical students on a path of learning. I call it's really a creative culture to learn philanthropy at its very finest on a one-on-one, because a lot of these doctors are going to end up going to work in hospital settings where most people will have health insurance, but they have to learn, how am I going to pivot? What kind of a resource am I going to use if somebody needs to have, you know, a mammogram, a colonoscopy screening, a prostate exam? What are we going to do for people who have nothing? How are we going to change and make a difference in the lives of those people? The folks that you see here are, you know, the generation. Kay Huber in the top corner, she's our primary nurse practitioner. And Dave Froelich is on our advisory board. Many people know him as a surgeon. He's retired along with Ruth. And then passing the torch to a next generation. That's one of the nurses and a pre-med student and one who's actually actively going to medical school right now. We are blessed to have 3 folks in our clinic right now that speak Arabic. That is a huge language in our area, and I'm just so very blessed that people like that want to come and work with us. And when I started working out of the corporate world of insurance and came to this small clinic, actually I was referred to my friend, Gil Brown, who I'd never actually heard of Beacon Clinic before, but he knew I was doing street ministry and that I had this heart of compassion that I wanted to serve others in a different way. And he said, Deb, I think I got your job, you know, and to have somebody like him bring this awareness of this clinic to me. It was just a beautiful thing. So we are really creating a legacy for our community and giving people a chance to learn new and different things. I'm gonna have you change the slide, please. So one of the residents, the woman in the right-hand corner, when she started working at Beacon Clinic, when I first came there, she's like, Deb, I really want to work with chronic illness patients with diabetics. And that is Dr. Alicia Helm. She is now a practicing family doctor. So Alicia started working with us doing a food as medicine program 3 years ago now. And as many of you know, food and quality food is essential for your wellness. So it's very, very thankful that we've created partnerships with people like the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, and these doctors write grants to buy the food for the patients at Beacon Clinic. I think that is phenomenal, and they continue to do things like that for us on an ongoing basis. So it really does take a village to provide health resources to people. And we know it's more than just the medical care. It is truly everything. Alicia's husband has become a dermatologist during these past 3 years. And now he is coming in and doing free dermatology for our patients. For those of us who do have insurance, you know how hard it is to get to see a dermatologist? And I can put an email, a little text message blast out for our patients. We have a dermatologist now. Those slots, in a 4-hour slot, he's seeing up to 13 people in one 4-hour time slot, which is really phenomenal. And the most beautiful thing is these doctors are bringing the next generation, the next class of physicians to Beacon Clinic to train. And what that does is set us up for this great long-term sustainability program. And I'm so, so grateful, because when people walk in, I want diversity in there. I want everybody who comes in the door to feel welcome. We do a lot of community outreach. That was a pre-COVID picture there. But really, you all are about service to others, and so are we. So we are aligned in that way. And would you please change the slide? So patient stories are really important. On the lower left-hand corner, there's a gentleman. If you take note, he does not have a bottom half of his leg. That gentleman was incarcerated, and his diabetes was not taken care of. And so he lost part of his leg. When he was getting out, his corrections officer called me personally and said, Deb, no one will help this man. He is a diabetic, he needs insulin, it's a desperate situation. Will you help him? I said, absolutely will help him. He came in. When we have somebody with chronic illness that comes in as a diabetic, they get a glucometer, they get blood strips until the day they get insurance or moved on up. They get their insulin, they get syringes, they get insulin pens and pen needles, whatever they need, even alcohol preps. We provide that to them because we want them to get healthy. This gentleman was so thankful for what we did for him, as well as the corrections officer, because they were desperate. They came back and he weeded our front garden and planted flowers and laid mulch. I mean, that really was a touching story. We have a gentleman who came in, another diabetic, who started, if you don't know what a healthy A1C is for a diabetic, it's around 7 or under. I am a type 1 diabetic with celiac disease, so I totally understand everything these people are going through from a health perspective. But this other gentleman came in, started with a 13.1 A1C. The higher that number, the more likely you are to have heart disease, kidney failure, and blindness. Easy things. I started up there in my diabetic journey. And this gentleman now has a 5.8 A1C because we consistently give him good quality care and absolutely everything he needs. So free doesn't mean less than. Free means we are going to be equal to, or if we can be better than other healthcare than we are going to be. We have people who do get insurance who don't want to because of the quality of the care and the compassion that they receive. We build relationships with people, you know, people open up to us, and that is so critical. We do a free flu shot clinic every fall. Again, that's another partnership with Penn State Health. I don't want to let UPMC go because UPMC does provide funding for us through their indigent care fund for x-rays and free lab work for all of our patients, which is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal gift and it's so essential. In 2019, we did receive some accolades that we didn't see coming. One was we got a Buena Salud Award for our work with the Latino population. The other award we received as one of the top 5 nonprofits in central Pennsylvania. I like to say sometimes we're a hidden gem. We do not want to be a hidden gem in this city. I'll tell you a little story. When the mayoral race was going on and there was talks throughout the city, there was a talk out on the riverfront, and I'm blessed to have lived on riverfront for many years here. And somebody stood up and said, "We need a free clinic in the city of Harrisburg." And do you think I didn't fly right out of my seat and say, "We have a free clinic in the city of Harrisburg. It's over in Uptown. Let me tell you, we're just a stone's throw from the old polyclinic." You know, so I am very proud of what happens at Beacon Clinic. Very, very proud. So I am so thankful that in a place where there's all these other nonprofits who have been around for decades, that a young nonprofit like ours received recognition. And I'm going to ask you to flip for the next one. You know, during the pandemic, everybody had to pivot. We had to do things that we never thought we were going to do. We held 5 vaccine clinics. We were the first free clinic that the Department of Health and the Latino Connection rolled out vaccines in marginalized communities. The zip code that we are in has a higher mortality rate than just a mile and a half where I live. The people in that zip code are more likely to die sooner because of where they live. And that stinks. To me, it does. We do serve people in Cumberland, Dauphin, and Perry counties as our primary focus. Our eligibility screening process is easy. The people in the mass, that was the day we, in the upper left, was the first day we reopened for patients to come back in on April the 1st. We never closed our door to service, but we changed how we served. We served in the parking lot. We served on our doorstep. And the other thing that we were able to roll out was we did get a translation system on iPads so that we didn't want to have like a whole family come in with a translator. If we could have a video translation system in that could speak every language. And that's what we did during COVID. We realized our technology was not up to snuff. Thanks to TFEC running a grant for us, we were able to bolster our infrastructure. And there's another gentleman who I believe is a Rotarian here, but not here today, is Darren Silbaugh. At the end of 2019, we decided it was going to be in our best interest for long-term sustainability and finances for providing those free meds is to partner with an organization called the Dispensary of Hope. So we now have our own in-house dispensary. And for the meds that we don't have, Darren gives them to us at a reduced cost for our patients. And he worked with me to make sure that we had the right inventory management system. Because under my watch, with a risk management background, I wanted no liability claims ever. So we got a great software product that shows us a picture of the pill. So the folks that I have working back there cannot make a mistake. That is critical to me, that no one gets the wrong meds. It happened to me at a retail pharmacy, and that is why I have celiac disease. My body was traumatized, and I don't want another human being on this planet to be traumatized the way my body was. So I worked very hard to make sure that we do that. On the lower portion on the left, there was a 100-year-old man who could not get out to get a vaccine. And our crew went over and vaccinated that man at his home, his first and second dose. You know, you see Secretary Bean on there, and the woman in the garb there with one of our nurses. She was so proud that she got her vaccine that she had pictures. She'd get a selfie with everybody, and she would send them overseas to where her home country was in Africa, so she could let her friends know it is safe. It's safe. I did it. My husband did it. You can do it too. You know, trying to stop that fear of becoming vaccinated in those marginalized communities and diverse individuals. We're still fighting that battle. So far, we've given over 330 vaccines to people who would not have gotten them. And that feels really, really good. You know, it's an ongoing battle. One day it was so hot and it was going to rain, so we did the vaccine clinic indoors instead of outdoors. We decided we're just gonna mask up and make it happen. So when we did, people got a chance to go, oh, there's a clinic inside this church. We are in the rear of St. Paul's Episcopal Church. So it was pretty stunning to a lot of people. That is what we do. So I'll have to go to the next slide, please. So the food is medicine. See that picture down there? That is good food. These people are getting good quality food. The other thing they get is they get recipes. So they know what to do with it, because not everybody's from America. Everybody eats differently depending on where they are from. So they get recipes and they get one-on-one nutrition counseling, which is a beautiful thing. The other thing we did this year was we partnered with a Period Project. I did see in your program that somebody that you all had done some work with perhaps as well. Those are one of the best gifts. We have people who are not, we give those to anybody who needs them. When we do a community outreach now, we have boxes of period packs that we hand out. Period poverty is real. I know that from when I worked on the streets with the homeless population. When you have low income, you may not take good care of yourself. So we need to make sure that everybody does have a healthy life. A lot of different churches and organizations made masks for us to give away. And on the right side is Dr. Matthew Helm, the dermatologist, along with his wife and a couple of our patients who came in to see him for dermatology care. So the one thing I want to share, and you know, we're still a work in progress. It's an evolution. We are getting ready to partner with Messiah University's marketing majors. We do not want to be the best kept secret in Harrisburg. I'm asking each of you, if you know anyone who needs our help, to please spread the word. Please tell people. We have posters that with tear-offs and all kinds of things that we can do. So our board has really grown. We've got some phenomenal people, in addition to Lauren Robinson, who I've known for many years. When she came on our board, I was really excited because she is a catalyst. You know, she's one of those change makers, and we're paradigm shifters. I like to say those things, it's true. And we've been able to bring on a wonderful gentleman who is the Consumer Insights and Digital Engagement for Penn State Health as our marketing chair. And he's going to work with those marketing majors and hopefully an intern that will work with us to create some media posts and just continue to take Beacon Clinic to the next level. And I personally am so privileged to be part of this organization. You know, when I left that other business world, I said, I just want to be in a space that is filled with kindness, caring, and compassion. That has been my personal self-mission throughout my life, and I'm so glad I get to live it each and every day, along with wonderful volunteers. We are looking actively for a pharmacist to run our dispensary. We've had volunteers doing it. I was thankful to receive some grant money so I can actually pay somebody, nothing like they can make in a retail pharmacy setting, and it's 12 hours a week. We really could use some help. If you know anybody in that specific area, I cry out. and say, help. You know, if you don't ask for the need, you will not receive it. So if you have not, you ask not, but I'm asking, so I have. So thank you so much. I know there's so many.
A committee classification talk today from new member Vishnu Patel.
Don't worry, it's not a speech, I just printed out the outline, and put some notes to make sure I hit everything. Yeah, I'll start with a little family background. So my parents were actually born in Africa, Kenya and Uganda. So it was kind of cool, a neat little fact there. There was a guy that came out of there, Idi Amin, he was like, you know what, I'm done with Indians and Africa here. So a lot of Indians at that point, it was all British rule and so forth. So my parents were fortunate enough to get themselves over to the UK. So that's where they grew up most of their lives. My mom still has a pretty strong British accent, so it always throws off family friends and everything. Whenever she's on the phone, I swear she has three different voices: her Indian voice, her American voice, and her British voice. So it was cool. I was born in the UK then, so Birmingham, and my older sister in London. And then my younger brother, he was a true American. He was born right there in the corner on Front Street here at Pinnacle. So didn't really speak the language too much. Didn't really that much Indian food, but yeah, he's my favorite. So that's kind of a little bit of background there. It was a cool opportunity. Back in '97, the U.S. was running a program it was kind of a green card lottery program. So my dad's brother, my uncle, he won in '96, and then my parents thought, hey, we'll never get it, but they won in '97. So that's kind of how we were fortunate enough to come over here. And then my dad has a family that worked actually at Berkshire Hospitality Trust over here and the REIT, so that's why we came over here to PA. So we started in Harrisburg and Harrisburg area, and then we found ourselves over in Hershey, you know, the sweetest place on earth. That joke has a lot more, you know, ring to it when I was living in DC. Here, not so much. But yeah, so pretty much went to Hershey. Lived in Hershey most of my life. I lived in Seattle. We had a year-long stint out there. We called our year-long vacation. It was gorgeous. I swear it didn't rain that much. We really enjoyed it. After that period, college-wise, went to Penn State Harrisburg, so I took local for that. Was able to get an accounting and finance degree and my 150 credits for the CPA exam, kind of all in one shot. So I worked as a CPA in DC. That was my first big boy job. So it was KPMG down there for 2 years, and then came back here to PA to kind of go through my MBA process, which was at Penn State Harrisburg as well. So that's the education piece. Was at Boyd River for 2 years. And then was sitting there during COVID at my kitchen table, and my parents were like, wow, this is what you do. I was like, yeah, what's this? It's not too bad. You know, I did a lot of tax work. I kind of enjoyed it. You know, I liked the numbers and so forth. But my parents thought, hey, I got to be a little bit more out there talking, networking and so forth. So a really good family friend of ours, Jeanette me, he was starting a bank out in Coatesville, or not starting a bank, but he was taking over a bank in Coatesville. So I joined there. So it was Coastal Savings Bank when I joined. Then it was Prosper Bank, and as of last Monday, it's officially Presence Bank. So that's the final name here. I think we're gonna stick to it for a bit. So we've gone public and kind of done that route. So it's kind of that was part of the final name change, was sort of, you know, have full control over the name and everything as we go forward. So that's kind of the situation there. Family wise, this is an easy one. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have a pet. So that's kind of it. I'm a middle kid, so I don't know. I feel like that says something. Hobbies and activities for me. I really got into traveling, especially when I was at the local campus here. Central PA is lovely. You get to Philly, you get to Pittsburgh, New York, DC, Baltimore. So normally most weekends I'm out and about visiting friends and so forth. When I was in DC, I got a little more international travel. My top 3 places right now that I want to go are Japan, Maldives, and Italy. I want to go to the Amalfi Coast. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. And then as far as joining Rotary, so my boss at the bank, Tom Green, who's been involved with various Rotary clubs in the area and so forth, more on the West Coast side. He was saying, hey, listen, you know, in taxes at that lower level, you kind of do work here in the banking side, you know, kind of getting out there, getting involved in networking. And I've always liked to give back and get involved. Penn State, I was big involved with the bond community and so forth. So I thought this would be the perfect blend of, you know, getting out there and meeting a lot of important people in the community and an opportunity to volunteer around. So thank you. Thanks for having me.